even for me, like my source of gossip is Shahid, right? He hates gossip, hates indulging in it. For some reason, doesn't end up filtering it into his ear also, that he could confirm something that I ask him or deny, right?
Yeah.
So half the times I'm like, come on, SK, tell me like what's happening, and he's like, I don't know.
Hi guys, welcome back to Moment of Silence Pod. I'm Sakshi Shivdasani.
I'm Naina Bhan.
And today we have...
Me.
Hi.
Hi, this is Mira Kapoor. Thanks for having me, guys.
I
Of
love
course.
the way you said that.
It's
I feel like
you.
yeah.
It's very like, it's
We're
got that slight
influencers.
millennial twang. This is Mira Kapoor and I'm...
Okay.
And you're watching Disney
Moment of
Channel.
silence. Oh yeah, Disney was the
Yeah.
thing, yeah.
Were you a Disney Channel kid?
Yeah, Hannah Montana, Wizards of Waverly Place.
All the classics,
yeah.
basically. Millennial core.
Yeah.
But before we begin, like, our candid conversation, because we're
I
so...
mean, we've already had half an hour of
Yeah.
that now.
That's
So
true.
we had a sound issue. It was just that my voice was getting annoying, so they had to fix that a little bit. But we want to play a game with you before we start. We know you have a beauty business, so in that vein, we wanted to give you famous people that you may know and what skincare product you would associate them
Okay.
with.
And why?
The first person you may or may not know, his name is Shahid Kapoor.
Okay. Looks like he has good skin. Seems pretty happy in life.
Yeah.
I think I'll just give him the On Cloud 9 moisturizer from a kind. Because it's
Fair
just
enough.
simple, hydrating, works for all skin tones, types, genders. Yeah.
Yeah. What about?
No, I was going to ask, does Shahid steal your skincare?
He actually does.
Right?
It is a problem. He and Ishan both do that. So the calls that we are making to a kind to restock, I actually feel a little embarrassed because it's just running out so fast, because every time Ishan comes into the house or Shahid has to stock up for his shoot kit and all, that sunscreen primer is just never there.
And also men use copious amounts of a product. Like, the
I
P
don't know
method.
what they are doing with it.
It's ridiculous, and I know, like, for you it's your brand, but you're like thinking about the cost price as you see them like pushing all of it
I
out.
just feel like sometimes if someone comes home and I want to gift it to them, they've taken it away. And I'll be like, oh, you can check it out on Tira. Like, that is so embarrassing that I don't have any.
So every time it's out of stock, it's just because it's all at your house.
Basically.
Amazing. So Ishan is also the moisturizer or some other brand?
Ishan is the No Shade sunscreen primer. It's all he uses. He's perpetually... And my shelf in the bathroom, for some reason, they've made it still the ceiling height. So the packed stuff is always kept on top. So even when he comes and I'll say, okay, I'll come with you.
Yeah.
He's like, you're anyway not gonna reach it. So, I'll just grab it myself.
I'll just take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Karan Johar? Me saying it in first name.
Yeah.
I'd say the multi-active serum, which is Get Even.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would think Karan also is the no shade because he's not a shady. Like, he doesn't throw shade.
No,
Yeah.
but I think because it's again, it's like ingredient specific.
Oh.
Because it's got peptides and actives, it works really well when you're a little unsure about your skin and what it needs, so it just packs a punch.
Well, what made you start a beauty brand? Like,
I just felt like there is so much of everything. Like, there is so many different types of products, there's so many ingredients, there are so many brands, there are so many stories, so much of everything. So, of course, it's ironic that you want to create another one. But it was just like simplifying skincare, that you just need to create a routine that works for you. I feel like many times you guys have so much information coming towards you, right? Should I use snail mucin? Should I use peptides? Should I use AHAs, BHAs? Should I use oil? Should I use a stick sunscreen? Should I use a gel sunscreen? Like, there's just so much out there. So all I wanted to do was tell people to listen to their skin and like pick and choose what works for you, specific to the Indian climate. Like, it's not greasy. You can layer without feeling like there's a ton of stuff on your face.
Yeah.
Most of the times, if I've tried new stuff, in 5 minutes I'm washing it off because I feel like there's too much on my face. I can't take it.
Do you get that? Like when you wear makeup for too long, you're like,
I'm waiting. Once I'm ready, I'm waiting to wash my face.
amazing.
I love that.
Yeah.
And is that specifically since you moved to Bombay? Because I know Delhi people are always complaining about Bombay weather.
I have to
we?
say, you know, I could cake my face up in Delhi. I could just do the under eye highlight. I could do so much. But in Bombay, like the minute you step outside the house, your makeup is breaking because it's so hot.
It is. It's incredibly hot and humid.
Yeah.
That's what I feel makes you feel like you really just need to have a bath.
Yeah.
You know, just get everything off and let it be. So many times I've not put anything on my face at night. It's just
Yeah.
mental that I felt like there's so much that's been on my face. I need to let my skin breathe. So just don't use anything.
Fair enough.
What's the most outlandish skin treatment that you've done?
I tried a laser that actually made my face look like I had taken an iron all over my face.
Stop it.
I swear I was so scared because I don't know what got into me. You know, I don't really like doing too many of these treatments and stuff. Like, I swear by acids. I think those work really well for me. And I was like, let's try. It's about time. I think this was soon after my birthday. So I think it was like I'm 30. I think I need to do something.
Okay.
It was-
Recent.
Yeah, recent.
Yeah.
And I just felt like this is not for me. I don't think I'm up for this kind of
Can't
stuff.
do it.
Yeah.
You know what really freaks me out is like when I go online and I see like Northwest and her friends doing these intense skincare routines and kids.
Why
the
are you watching this on
It's
Instagram,
on my
though?
feed. Let's
Naina's
not.
feed is fucked. Like it's
My
so
feed
bad.
is pathetic. I really need a cleanup of my explore page
Really?
because I think now I just have some ridiculous reels coming up on my page, and I have a few people that I send it to.
Of course.
And one of them is my friend Tanya, and every time I send her, she just says started, because she knows now there's going to be a chain of this shit that I'm going to send her.
For sure. You know,
So I have a few people that I send the weird stuff to.
we realized that we have the same algorithm because you made some like I think a reel during COVID or something, and then Naina and I sent it to each other, and we were like, oh, so even the celebrities have the same feed as us. It was like, thank God.
No, mine is ridiculous. I mean, honestly, there was a time for some reason I was doom scrolling through the page of someone who sells suits.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
And
who you're talking-
suddenly my feed is full of like several such people selling suits.
course.
It is now an explore page of just that. And so I sent one of these reels to my friend Karan. He's gorgeous potato.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So I sent it to him. I said, doesn't her voice sound exactly like so and so? And he's like, because he sends me voice notes in those people's voices back. It's just like a really funny thing that he does.
Yeah.
I don't have the guts to do that, so I type back. And he's like, didn't you know they're actually sisters? And I was like, what? This is news to me. I said, how did that happen? And apparently they were rivals, like they started together, and then there was an issue. Now they have their own page.
How have you unearthed all this information?
I have. It's me and Karan, and we just go through a rabbit hole of a lot of this explore page stuff.
I was gonna ask, but I think you summed it up. What is your brain rot of choice?
I actually enjoy a buffet. It's absolutely everything.
Everything for the taking.
Everything. Because usually this stuff happens at night, like maybe once you're in bed and you're trying to fall asleep.
Yeah.
I don't know what all is coming up there. It's ridiculous. Like I saw Dharna posted a reel of how these games are happening on kitty parties.
Yeah.
I've been seeing it on my explore page for the last 10 days.
I love that.
Why am I seeing this on my explore page?
Are you a kitty mom?
I'm not a kitty mom.
You don't want to do atka, latka, matka, jhatka?
मैं हूँ अटपट.
My dream. I will only have a child to do atka, latka. It's a mom thing, na? Yeah.
I don't know if it's a mom thing, but I saw one today that I sent back to Dharna,
Yeah.
which is a college theme kitty.
They
I think
found-
that's enough of me and my explore page.
I'm excited. I'm like, I've gotten going because the kitty reels are my aspiration. Like, I'm like, I thought it's only a mom thing, but it's apparently not. You can just start a kitty with
You can just start a kitty.
I think you guys must do this. Just make a broadcast channel or something.
With a kitty.
Yeah.
And we all do the cringe reels. I'm down.
Have you ever been the person to give yourself bangs?
I did in I did.
We
I
had a
did. I think I
bet.
was in class 8 or something, and I tried it,
Okay.
and it was basically just one hair. Because I said, let's try one, right, to
Yeah.
see how it looks, and that was the end of mine.
I love how
bangs.
everything about you is so minimal. The skincare line, the bangs. It's like one time.
I did. I wanted to
Algorithm.
try it out. I was like, let's see. So let's just cut one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was unfortunately right in the middle.
Stop it. This
Yeah,
was
it's happened.
in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
Okay. I would have paid to see this like 5 years ago with all the
Never.
tabloids
You're never
doing
getting
it.
that.
But was it difficult adjusting to like suddenly being in the public eye at 20, right?
I don't know. I don't know what my answer is to that anymore. Like,
Fair
we were
enough.
discussing this. You're
What's
going to
your
ask me
journey?
one of these questions.
Yeah. No, but I
And-
actually haven't seen you like answer it in like a like I understand there was like a lot of speculation, but and you were just thrown into it because you got married. But like
See, I was not thrown into this. Like,
Okay.
it makes me seem like I was like pushed into this situation.
Yeah,
Like, absolutely
okay.
not. I mean, I
Yeah.
knew exactly what I was doing. And I think a lot of, like, coming back to your first question, which was like, how was it? I think I didn't even realize how that perception of me was till like a year or two into it.
right.
So I think I was a bit oblivious to what was going on and how things were panning
Yeah.
out. Now, of course, I'm a lot more aware. And sometimes I read like stuff about how I was in college and like all of these things. And I'm just like, where are you getting this stuff from? But, you know, I think now maybe I'm just a little more
Immune.
seasoned
Yeah.
to let it be. But
Yeah.
at that time, I think I felt like it was just moving cities. That was the main thing for me, which was making new friends. Also, my friends at that time were not married. So it was like finding that connection of where we are in life,
Yeah.
finding a new rhythm. Like, okay, now I'm in a new city. So I need to make new friends. I need to like figure out life. And yeah, a lot of these things came. Like, there was a time where there were a lot of these articles that came up, and I was like, how do people get to know these things? Like, I actually asked Chai, like, how do people get to know these things? Like, they just make stuff up.
Yeah.
I didn't like really grasp the concept of why does someone care so much to make something up about somebody they don't know.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, he had told me, I remember, I think he was going for like HT Style Awards or something. Like, this is before we got married, we were engaged. And he's like, by the way, like, I'm going for this thing, and, you know, they're obviously going to ask me about it. So I'm not going to say no. So I was like, okay. He's like, no, but are you like ready for this and stuff? Because, you know, things can change.
Yeah.
And I was like, but like, I'm in Delhi. What's going to change for me?
Hmm.
So, I mean, all of that happened. Strangely, the next day, my friends called me up and they're like, there are a bunch of reporters outside the college gate.
Oh my god, I remember this. Yeah.
And I was like, that's a bit weird. So I went to my sister's house, which was nearby, and like I skipped the first class. And then I went from the back gate. But that was that first thing where I was like, oh, okay, I guess this is going to be a bit of a deal.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you had like a Princess Diaries moment where
Like a makeover?
no, not the makeover is a separate thing, but the fact that suddenly, like, from being fairly normal, you're suddenly put in like under focus from all of these different eyes and lenses that were never on you before. And maybe, I don't know, even though if Shahid had several conversations with you about it, until it happens to you, you don't really know what it is.
I don't think I ever stopped being myself. I'm still myself.
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably what's kind of kept me sane and normal, because, you know, it's like one part of someone's life.
Right.
So for me, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's there, but
yeah.
it's not like I'm interacting with people or the media on a daily basis that I have to be so hyper aware. And also at that time, it's like I wasn't doing anything, so I was pretty cocooned in in my own little space.
But I have to commend you. Sorry.
Sorry,
Just to
no, go
see?
for it. No.
Okay, I was saying I just have to commend you because if I had come here at 20, I would have lost my mind. Like, I would not have been able to be.
Still losing her mind.
No, I'm still losing my mind. Like, I came here, actually, I came to Mumbai and came to this side of like the industry after I turned 30, and I felt like that was my biggest security blanket because I felt like I had a personality that was fully formed. I had friends and relationships that was solid that I could count on. And I see so many people around me, actors, creators who get like so much fame or relevance when they're young, and that's a very strange head
But
rush.
you're very right. You know, I think the security blanket of friends and family that they know you for who you are, they love you for who you are. I think maybe that's probably what made me feel like it doesn't matter whatever's happening.
That's good, like, because so I started creating content when I was 21. It was my first job, and it was COVID time, right? So I was just creating videos at home. People were getting annoyed with my voice. I was like, whatever.
Yeah, I've seen your videos.
Yeah, I was like, whatever, it's on the internet, who cares? It's not real. And then lockdown opened, I'm on ground, and people are like, aren't you the, like, I was buying a cigarette once, and this guy next to me, I was just talking to the pan wala, and he was like, aren't you the girl with the annoying voice? And I looked at him and I was like, no. And he was like, what? And I got so annoyed, but I was like, till it doesn't happen, it's not real. And then suddenly, the next week, I was in my car, I was crying, as one does. And people were like pointing at me.
As one does.
As one does.
Have you had those moments? Have you broken down like after a public event or something?
I mean, like, what should I say? Because the answer is no. I actually have a
That's
hard
good.
time, like, I think I wall my feelings in a bit. I am that kind of person. So I think I'm a bit more cerebral with my feelings.
What
Sure.
does that
Weird.
mean?
Like, honestly, this is something I'm presently working on, which is to be more emotive with my feelings rather than cerebral with my feelings.
Same.
You should talk to her off camera also because she's on a similar journey.
Yeah, and my therapist keeps telling me I need to feel more, and I'm like, whatever, I
No,
don't
I
care.
feel it's just
Oh.
like they are mine. I just don't need anybody else to know.
That's good.
Yeah.
I approve.
So are you like journaling? What do you do? How do you get over things or get past things?
I don't think I'd like take them in too much.
That's when you're on Instagram.
Yeah. Size L, XL, 3, 4, 5, 6 XL.
Do you also buy stuff from Instagram stores?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I've had to stop myself over the last couple of months
Have you
because it
gotten
was becoming a
scammed?
problem. Fortunately, no.
Oh.
No.
And-
That algo is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
The shopping part of Instagram, I get some really good recommendations.
Do you have any favorite Instagram stores? Want to give a shout out to?
They're not Instagram stores, no? They're
Oh.
normal brands that are like hitting me.
Fair enough.
So I find stuff and I'm like, yeah, this is quite cool.
Yeah. I went into my Facebook and I deleted all the like ad things. Like I went into the business place because I was buying so much.
Are you still going on Facebook?
Yeah, just for the toggle, right? The business suite.
I haven't been.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I
I
went on
love
Facebook.
going into
That
the
was one of the
business
things I
suite.
had to do, by the way.
What?
I had to like deactivate my Facebook account
Why?
For your
before I
marriage.
got married. Yeah, because I suddenly got like some 3,000 friend requests or something. And at that time, like 3,000 felt like the whole world wants to.
Yeah.
And I had this feeling like if somebody hacks into my account, they're going to see pictures of me when I was like 15 at a party and God knows what I was wearing at that time. Like deactivate.
Vasant Valley parties were a
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
Okay? Vasant Valley parties were a thing. Somehow the entire batch would unite. And I was like, what is this?
We only
school?
had 90 people.
Yeah, but apart from Vasant Valley and modern school, I don't know any other school where people literally they're holding hands like I love you, man. I know people from Vasant Valley who've got Vasant Valley like the symbol tattooed on their body.
Who is this? I don't know anyone like
I've
this.
known someone who's so many proposals happen in that school because they're such
Mira
proud.
pulls up her sleeve. She
That
has a
happened.
tattoo.
That happened. My best friend
Yeah.
got married to another classmate of ours from school, and the proposal was at school.
Yeah. What do you think?
It is crazy.
No, it's fine.
It is crazy.
I've never, because my whole thing in school was, I'm like, when the fuck can I get out of this place? Everyone
Same.
I
hates
kind
me.
of feel like we've had those feelings, but I love my school.
Yeah.
I took my kids to school because I was like, guys, you need to see what a real school
Is your biggest sadness that your kids can't go to Vasant Valley?
No, I just missed, like, we had more than one field. There was a small field and a big field, and this garden and that garden. Like, Bombay is vertical. Like, you have to share playgrounds
My
with
college
schools.
was 3 classrooms. Like
Which college was
I was in UPG, like Miti by UPG and they all have the same thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you would have to like switch out like from 7 to 1 college, and then that same
Oh.
classroom from 1 to 5 would be another college. Yeah, I've struggled.
But I feel really bad because I feel like from Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, if you've grown up in a city, you haven't really had a childhood, even though there are fields and
I don't agree. I love my childhood.
like
in
we
Delhi.
didn't like climb trees and stuff.
I
you
knew
know?
you were gonna say that
Yeah,
example.
because I remember like when I was 17, my biggest goal was to go to Cookie, was a club in GK2, and I was like, I just want to go
Yes,
dance
I
in this
remember
club.
that.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was my
yeah.
goal. I was like, why?
It
now
was
I-
Cookie with a K.
Yeah, Cookie. And now I'm like, oh my god, I wish when I was a kid I just wanted to like climb a tree or like look at birds. I would love to go bird watching.
I don't think you had such dreams, Naina. It
I
just
have-
sounds really aesthetic to
Of
say.
bird watching?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. It just sounds so holistic, like wholesome. When I was a kid, I was trying to figure out how can I like secretly smoke just for the thrill. My first cigarette we secretly smoked was Godangaram.
Stop it. So you did have the non-city experience. But I mean, I've never had the urge to climb a tree, and I'm
That's because
happy.
you're from Bombay. It wasn't even an
That's
option.
true. I actually agree with Naina on that.
Would you
It
like to
wasn't even
climb
an
a
option.
tree?
We kind of did in school.
Never
On a
climbed
big
tree.
field.
Yeah, big field and small field.
Yeah. So you took your kids to climb trees.
I
in
took my
Delhi.
kids to school, to my
Uh-huh.
school. I said, guys, I'm going to show you what a real school is.
And were they impressed or
Where
were
we
they
have
bored?
like open spaces and all, because what they see in Bombay, and they have a fantastic school. It's just that what they see in Bombay is just buildings.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah. And then my son was like, did you really go to school here? I didn't even know what he meant by that. Like, is he judging me? Is he kind of impressed, but he wants to like throw shade
Act
at me
cool,
and
yeah.
act a little cool? So I took them around and showed them everything, and I made the unfortunate mistake of taking them into, because I was walking in, and unlike like all schools, it really doesn't matter whether you've graduated or not. The security guard will still ask you किससे मिलना है, कौन सी टीचर ने बुलाया है. So I had to say like, yeah. And so the principal was there and she knew I was there. So I went inside to say hello, and they were having a meeting out of all things. So my kids have gone in, and I was like feeling all so cute, like my teachers get to meet my kids, and the tables turned around very quickly because my teachers are talking about how naughty I was, and my kids are getting to know exactly how I used to be. And I don't know why I'm stuck in the middle with them saying, she actually used to do this. And my
Amazing.
kids are like, really, mom? Did you actually do that? And then they are telling the teachers about what I'm doing. And I'm like, what the hell is happening? Why did I get myself into this mess?
Wholesome. So we all had the same childhood.
Yeah.
Except I grew up in a building.
And you didn't climb the trees.
I
And
did
Naina
not climb.
wished she climbed.
I did. I mean, I remember myself in school. I had like the side bang. I had an emo
We all
phase.
had it.
You had
We
it.
all had that.
You had it too.
Yeah, we
And
all had
curly
that.
hair. And I had the
I think the
option.
coolest thing we did in school as a matter of rebellion, like our school uniform was salwar kameez, okay?
Oh.
Don't laugh.
I know this. Say,
The Sanskriti girls all had skirts, okay? Our school for some reason had salwar kameez.
Yeah.
And the kameez used to be below the knee. And we had a belt. And there were belt loops that had to come here, okay? So
Okay.
what we would do is just chop off the thing, the kameez, to make it shorter and wear the belt a bit lower. It really didn't look much cooler.
Because you were still wearing the salwar.
You're still wearing a salwar with black shoes.
They used to remove the loops and stitch them lower.
Yeah.
Oh. Damn.
Yeah.
Is that where your fashion journey
I
started?
think so. I think so.
Do you have photos that you don't
Of my
mind?
school uniform?
Yeah.
And my side bangs? Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
actually send you one.
Yes,
Yeah, I'll
please.
send you one.
I'm dying to see this because I can't picture this. Like, it sounds like a disaster.
You guys had like what, a blue skirt?
We had a blue. Our uniform was damn ugly. I'm sorry, but it was. There's this blue skirt and this orange check shirt with
Oh
a Chinese
yeah, I remember
collar.
this orange color of yours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was very bad.
Ours
Yeah.
was white and blue.
That's classic. I
Yeah.
love that.
I think that's normal.
But you know, when our school was coming up, they were like, this modern school in Delhi. The uniforms have been designed by, I think, some designer or NIFT grads.
Manish?
Someone. NIFT graduates. And I was like, wow, what a school. It was going to be
Red
amazing.
and blue sound like
It
both
was-
your uniforms sound pretty. Like, I'm glad
They
you're
were
a
made.
fashion
They were
girls
made
today.
to allow our personalities to shine.
Oh, I thought to diminish personalities. Isn't that what's
No,
cool
if
in a
you
concert?
can stand out wearing that,
Yeah,
I guess.
But you know, if everyone's wearing it, then no one's wearing
that's
it.
true. I dated this really lame dude from your school. Just
Offline.
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 I can tell you online also. I have no issues.
What did the guys wear in your schools?
They were very normal. They
Oh.
got to wear shirts and shorts and then pants when they reached high school, like a coming of age thing.
And
Like
then
a
they'd pull
normal
it really like low. So
Why?
they'd wear, because that was cool at back then. So you wore your pants super low waist and then you could like, their boxers would peek out. It was damn hideous.
You know, I see
I
some.
like how you know so much about it.
Because that's all I saw. Dude, we've done a full episode where we're talking about how the biggest thing you could do for like the male gaze back in the day was have a water fight.
That was a thing.
Yeah.
That was a thing.
And all the girls with their, we used to do halter bras as a sign
Yeah.
of rebellion.
We didn't
Yeah,
have
I
any
used
of
to do
that,
that.
dude. Our principal was really strict.
Yeah.
I mean,
In
I
the-
love her. She's retiring now.
No, but we used to do as a rebellion, we used to wear ankle length socks instead of full length socks, but I hadn't waxed my legs.
So
I was-
even we used to do the ankle length socks,
Yeah.
and every day they would come to. I mean, why are you wasting time on these things, right? Show me your socks, show me your nails, remove the kajal, whatever.
Is this different with kids now? When your kids go to school, do they also
They have a very nice uniform.
Oh,
They actually have a nice uniform. So
do you want to cut side bangs for them just to give them the same character development?
I remember like Mehndi being such a big deal when we were in
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
Misha has worn it like 7 times to school. It's like not a deal. I guess because it's cultural or whatever, but it's not a problem. And like side bangs, curtain bangs.
All.
I wish
It's
there were
all
more
chill.
hurdles in children's lives these days. I feel like they're
I was
growing up
talking to
too
Disha
soft.
like on the way here.
Yeah.
They don't have homework.
What do you
What?
say?
So I don't know if I should be feeling happy that we don't have anything to do, or that it's not hard enough, or like I don't know what they're up to.
Yeah.
There's no homework.
That's amazing.
There are no projects. You remember we had to do like a shitload of summer projects and models and
I paid one guy off to do it for me.
no, I used to do mine.
I used to do it myself.
Sorry.
You go
And
climb
we're all in the
trees.
same room. So did anyone lose out? I don't think so. It's fine.
My daughter makes Canva presentations. Now,
Wow.
So
Oh.
she's very cool.
Does she want to work with moms?
Okay, you got married when you were 20. Your
Same
friends were
question.
also 20 at that point of time. How separately did you guys evolve, and was it an isolating experience?
I think we did evolve separately, and I mean, I'd like to admit it was quite isolating because we were just in different phases of life at that time. And you get to different spaces in your life and phases where you look at your friend and you're like, I wish I could do what she's doing. And for the longest time, it was me thinking about, my friend's gone for a master's, or like they're traveling, or there's a gap year. And life is great. Like, you move cities, you have a wonderful family, kids, all of that. But I think like it's real to feel that, that's what my friends are doing. And, someone's going to Cabo and somebody's going here and all of that stuff. So I even remember like we used, as you are in touch with friends, I couldn't speak to them as often as I used to. And they were just like, what has happened? Like, just because you moved and gotten married doesn't mean you forget us. And I was like, guys, just genuinely, I'm really occupied and caught up and stuff. And I don't think they understood it then, but fortunately the friendship kind of sustained, and they understand it now because they're in the similar phase where you're getting married or you're evolving to a new stage in your relationship or your career, and your priorities change. So I think it's like, where are you at in terms of priorities? And if you and your friends are both each other's priority, it's fine. The moment it's different, suddenly you're just like, where are you? You're not there for me, or I'm not there for you, or we haven't spoken. Is this how it's going to be?
Yeah.
Because I think friendships, at least in your teenage years, have evolved and sustained because of nostalgia. Right? Like a lot of what you talk about even now is about nostalgia. We spent 20 minutes talking about school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's point enough, right? So even now when I get together with my school friends and my college friends,
Oops. Yeah.
it's a lot about nostalgia. And I think it's that next phase of adult friendships which requires effort. So I think when that changed, and like I had a, difficult pregnancy, and my friends were really there for me, like keeping me entertained and coming and looking me up and just like moral support.
Yeah.
So it did evolve, and now I feel it's a full circle because everyone's checked off those major milestones in a different order, but you're back to having that time to like talk shit and send each other random stuff on WhatsApp and Instagram, and it can have like 3-4 days or weeks in the middle, but you pick up exactly where you left off.
I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like right now I'm in a place with my female friendships, and also I had to make a whole new set of female friends in Mumbai. All my female friends are way younger than me, which is an adjustment, but it keeps me so young. but my other friends...
No, so we have an age gap as well, and I'm the friend that didn't leave the hometown, right? Now again, my hometown is not some small town, it is Mumbai.
Yeah.
But all my friends are in like London or the US and everything, and I've had to like start from scratch, except that everyone expects me to know everything happening in Bombay, but I'm like, I don't know anyone because my friends are no longer here. So even I've been making friends, and I do see like a lot of my friends, I'm at that age where all my friends are getting married right now, and I'm not in a space where I'm getting married. So I'm just like one Sangeet performance to the other, but I know that if I'm not there for them right now, that's a major milestone that I'm not a part of. Even if I'm like feeling like not up to it, I'm like, if I'm not here, then this friendship is over. So I'm like actively trying to
but you
be
have
there.
to show up. I think with friends, I think at this stage of life that we're all in, it doesn't really have to be an age thing. It's more like a stage thing. You just have to show up when it matters. I think, like my friend had a baby, and my best friend from college, and she had a baby, and I had told her, I said, listen, when you go into labor, you tell me, because she was delivering in Delhi, and I said, I have to come and see you. So the night before, her husband messaged me and said, it's happening. Okay, so I thought, I'm going to wake up in the morning, baby's going to be here, and I'll make my plan and go. And I had already told Shahid, I was like, my friend is getting ready to deliver. So he's like, yeah. So I woke up in the morning and I'm like, so what is it, boy or girl? And he's like, it's not here yet. And so I'm waiting for this baby to be born. And as soon as the baby is born, I like booked my tickets, and like I had stuff lined up that day, and I was feeling super guilty because I was just like, I have to show up at work as well, and it's setting a bad example. And at the same time, like, this is a once in a lifetime experience, and I'm going to feel terribly guilty if I'm not there. And I did make it, and I think it was super special. Like, I was there literally for 2 hours. Airport, hospital, back, airport, and...
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think I've failed my friends many times because I'm like, oh, I have so much going on. Where do I do it? And I feel now when I look back in retrospect, the only thing that you can really hang on to or take to the next like phase or stage of your life is the experience that you have when you were bonding with each other. Like, I was going through a separation, and going to weddings was super overwhelming. But my best friend was getting married, and it was just such a small wedding, and I just remember sitting in the Gurdwara, and she was holding my hand while her Anand Kaj was happening, and I was like crying at the back. But I was like, does this make me selfish? But she just like made me feel so good about it. I was like,
that's what friends are for. I feel like that's why you need your friends, because there's a part of you that needs to exist through your friends like who you used
Yeah.
to be,
Yeah.
and then like finding a new version of yourself.
Yeah, but I also think like adult friendships, the friendships that have not like started as kids, I think they're so important because obviously you are growing as a person. So when you meet your school friends, you kind of go dissolve back into
Yes,
who you
yeah.
were.
yes, that actually happens. That actually happens where you start talking like that again.
Yeah.
But adult friendships, I agree with you. I feel like you make like 2 adult friends a year, maybe, or
Yeah.
like one.
And you like one of them.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
one of them makes it through the whole
Yeah.
year. So yeah, but it's not as robust of a friend circle as you had when you were kids.
Yeah.
But like adult friendships need you to show up,
Yeah.
be connected,
I agree.
talk about like real stuff, because you don't have the buffer of nostalgia and like getting into conversations that are like candy floss. You
Yeah.
just you have
Yeah.
to make that effort.
Sadly, the only thing about adult friendships that I don't like is that you have to send a link to a Google Calendar and block someone's time. in the
Fortunately,
most-
I don't have to do
Oh,
that.
that's
Mine is
nice.
still a meme thing.
No, for me, it's like with my childhood friends, I'm somewhere in like, I would never tell them when I'm down bad because I feel like we grew up in school and we were a little bit competitive. But with my adult friends, I feel like they really know when I'm like going through it and like all of that. So I do have to like balance both the things, but because we work together also and we become friends, so then she's like, I don't need to book a Google link with her.
That's
You just show up
Right.
at your place of work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's
And
like, oh, I have to work.
we love this job because we sit together as two friends and we do check-ins every like month.
3 years we're going to do Atka for sure.
So
I want to be invited to that.
We'll
check-in.
do a reel after. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Yeah.
you know how everyone in Delhi is dying for gossip. Every time I go back to Delhi, they're like, "What's happening in Bollywood?"
I know. That happens to me also.
Yeah, and I'm like, I have no idea
Yeah.
because they think that I walk into a room and Varun Dhawan is just sitting there.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not my life at all.
No?
But it is yours. So do you
No,
have to-
honestly, I
Yeah.
don't have that kind of gossip because,
No.
even for me, like my source of gossip is Shahid, right? He hates gossip, hates indulging in it. For some reason, doesn't end up filtering it into his ear also that he could confirm something that I
Yeah.
ask him or deny, right?
Yeah.
So half the times I'm like, come on, SK, tell me like what's happening, and he's like, I don't know.
It becomes embarrassing because then you have to answer to a group of people who think you're the shit because you're the
The
one
funniest
who
is when they ask you questions like headlines.
Yeah.
Is it true? Is so and so? And I'm like, I actually don't know. Did this really happen? Like, did someone actually do this? And I said, I actually don't know. I mean, ask Shahid, he might know.
Yeah.
He's the least interested in gossip. Like, that's just not his thing.
On the other side is that one relative or friend who doesn't know has picked up from some E37 and they say it
Yeah.
like it's Bible.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Of course that's his third wife. Based on what? It's some WhatsApp university
Yeah.
forward. They're like,
So I know that
Yeah.
so and so went
Yeah.
here with so and so. And I was like, really? Did that actually happen? Yeah, it did. Don't you know?
But I'm that person who, like, if I hear fake news also, I'll go say it like it's news. And then everyone will be like, it'll come back to me and I'll be like, I have spread this rumor, unfortunately, so it's not true.
No, a lot of the like stuff is on Reddit. Like
Yeah.
I feel like Reddit has so many theories and teas and
Yeah.
whatnot going on. I feel like most of the time, like I'm seeing, I didn't even know so much stuff is
Yeah.
going on.
And everyone, it's always a neighbor. If someone's relative is this one's neighbor and
Yeah.
they have said they see this every day.
The funniest is when it was about me, and I was like, this has not happened. So then I had to check myself to be like, you know what? If it is so far from reality, I'm sure 90% of these other stories are also so
Yeah.
far from reality that I'm so happily guzzling and being like, oh, maybe this is actually true.
Yeah, and on Reddit, it's especially like there is smoke without fire.
Yeah.
Like,
All the
it's
time.
so easy.
All the time, yeah.
Because it's so anonymous, and sometimes I feel like someone just. There was a rumor that Deepika Padukone is going to be in White Lotus, and it was started from a fan page who did it as a musty thing. The next thing you know, news outlets have picked it up, and it's like NETizens are so excited, and people are speculating what.
Do you know, I
role-
realized that the meaning of netizens was what it was just a few months ago.
It's my biggest ick word.
It's always
I
the
was just like, what
netizens.
is that? So yesterday, very casually, Shahid was like, I heard Sabyasachi is now becoming the creative director for like some brand or something, and I was like, that's an April Fool's thing. No, I read it somewhere. I was like, no, it was Diet Sabya.
Who has the better algorithm, you or Shahid?
Me, clearly.
And are you feeding him with like memes and stuff and he's like, what the fuck is this?
I am trying to get the confirmations and he just doesn't give.
It's such
Yeah.
a man thing also where it's like, yeah, I don't know who they're dating. But weren't you with them last night? Yeah, I didn't ask. I said, please, I'm dying
Like, I have
for this
my own
info.
life and zen. But he is very zen actually. He's like,
Yeah.
speaking of friendships, he's actually the ideal friend.
Yeah?
He's like, he has an incredible capacity to listen and understand and then like give you the advice the way that he knows you can take it.
Take it.
It's not like that holier than thou, like you should do this. Like obviously you're asking for advice because you messed up or you're like lost or something like that. So like he's an adult friend of mine.
Yeah.
Like I can talk to him about stuff, and also because I am a bit closed about a lot of things.
Yeah.
That's the one space that I feel you can be very honest and open because it's not going anywhere.
Fair enough. Sign of a healthy marriage.
I know.
We wouldn't
Oh,
know.
a bit serious.
But
Okay.
how is it now, like taking your kids on vacation and stuff? Has that ruined the
It's a mess.
vacation experience?
So, kids and a vacation, right? We're right now in the middle of planning a vacation. And clearly we all have different agendas, okay? Now, in groups, that means that Shahid and I want to chill and do nothing.
Of course.
Me and the kids, basically me, I want to educate them and take them sightseeing and see things so that they can come up with something to say when they go back to school. He wants to do activities with them, like let's do kayaking and trekking and paddle boarding and whatever. The kids themselves just want to eat and go to a water park. Okay, they couldn't care less, and the end of the day needs to be the iPad. So now we're thinking, how are we getting all of these things together, which is chill and get the sightseeing and do the water park and give them the iPad and somewhere kind of stay a bit sane and not exhausted when you come back, because the whole point of the holiday is to
Chill.
come back refreshed, apparently.
Yeah.
So it's really not going anywhere because the kids are older now. Now we can't just tell them this is what we're doing. Now they have opinions and they have like, no, but I don't want to do this. This looks very boring. There's too much walking. I don't want to, like last year, I booked a bus tour for them, okay? I was like, I am doing this. I'm taking you on a bus tour from London, Windsor, Stonehenge and Bath.
That's
okay?
hectic.
So
Mira.
I just had this bug. I was like, I'm just doing this. I'm booking it. Whether anybody comes or not, I am going on this bus.
Okay.
So I booked this thing and I was like, we're all going for this trip. And at that time, I still had some veto over the kids and telling them, this is what we're doing. And Shahid is like, I don't know, like, are you sure you want to do this? I said, it's so cool. Like, see, we get to see Stonehenge and wow, and everything is organized. And, they give us those walkie-talkies and you can listen
Yeah.
to stuff, like typical tourist stuff. I'm very touristy, by the way. So we get on to that and he's thinking this is a bad idea. But it's fine because I said, look, if you're not coming, we are still going. And he's like, what am I going to do? So yeah, let's go. So we go on this tour, everything finishes. This year, when I've again pulled out, like, what are the sites that we should go and see? And the kids are standing next to Shahid, like, checking the iPad. And they're like, no, mama, we're not doing this. It was too boring. We are not coming. And I was just like, guys, you don't have an option. We're not coming.
Listen, I'm sorry, but
I would not have done that.
approaching in slow motion, like some rocks.
A stone, like a huge
They didn't
stone.
care. And by the time we reached Stonehenge, right,
Yeah.
which is the second destination, and I'm like, okay, guys, come on, smile. And they're like, no. I was like, I need to click pictures. Why else have we come here? I need to get a picture of you so I can put it on the family group and say, look, we're at Stonehenge. No. I said, it's for memory. Why do you need to take so many pictures? This is their standard question. Why do you need to take so many pictures? And I was like, it's for memories. I've just printed a bunch of pictures and I was like, isn't this so nice? Yeah, I don't know, like, they're fine. I don't, like, they really are my reality check.
Did you go into like motherhood being like, I'm not a regular mom, I'm a cool mom?
I so thought that. I think I'm cool in parts.
What does that mean? Please break it down.
Explain.
Clearly my bus tour doesn't make me cool. But I'm quite chill, I feel, with my kids.
But do you understand the Gen Alpha lingo?
Not at all. And I don't intend to understand it at all.
Like your kids are going around saying skibbity and you're like, stop it.
You know, my son is like watching IPL and he's like, oh, so-and-so's cooked. And so yesterday, I'm asking, who was I saying? I just said, what has he cooked? And they started laughing. I'm talking in the regular cooked.
Yeah,
Okay.
of course.
Like, what has he cooked or something like that. And they both started laughing in a way that they thought I'm very cool. Mom, you said cooked. And I was like, what? And they were just like, you said cooked. I said, I actually asked him that same question. That was the end of it. I should have played along and been like, I'm so cool.
Yeah.
You should use this word gyat.
Stop it.
No, I know what that means. I think I'm better with teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm better with teenagers.
I haven't interacted with a child ever. Like in my adulthood, I have never met a child who I've had to say hi to. So I'm like scared to talk to
But kids are pretty chill now.
Yeah.
Like they have their own personalities and like my
That's the
son knows
problem.
all the footballers and where they were and what their number is and like there's too much information that this
Yeah.
guy knows.
I think I saw this reel recently. It was like a pap video of you taking your kids out of a sneaker store.
Yeah.
And you were like kind of mad at your son.
I wasn't mad at
Or
him.
that was how the nation perceived
Yeah,
it.
the netizens.
The
The
netizens,
netizens. No, so he needed new football shoes because they were small for him. And that morning he came and he was like, Mama, you still haven't bought my shoes. They are so tight. And like he really guilt tripped me. And I was like, yeah, I think today, Shah, I was like, listen, you better get the shoes today because that's the end of us. So I decided I'm going to take them out shopping afterwards and buy the shoes because we tried the online method and the size was just not right. This is why, like for kids, I feel like I cannot do this online stuff. So I took them to the store and they didn't have anything in his size. Misha turns out she finds a pair of shoes for herself. So she has left the store with shoes for herself. He doesn't have any shoes for him. And he was feeling really bad. And till we left the store, everything was fine. Because till then, the shopkeeper's looking, no, it's okay, thank you. Once he's left, he's feeling so bad that he didn't find his shoes. So he was actually just feeling bad. And I'm trying to tell him, I was getting irritated that the paps were there and whatever. Because I'd already asked them. Normally, they don't click their pictures. So.
Yeah. Fair enough. But do they take styling advice from you, the kids? Like, no, you know, like you want, as a mom, like I think if I'm going to have a kid, I'm going to get to dress them.
Oh, like that?
Yeah.
Like styling advice?
Styling
sounds-
advice.
Like, can you wear this?
Yeah.
Like,
I was
It's
just
a daily.
imagining like somebody
No.
with like checks with
like
stripes.
I just want a kid so I can dress them.
Yeah.
But do kids actually let you? No,
No.
nah?
No.
Well, there go my plans.
No.
Sorry.
No, they
No.
just have a mind of their own. Like they know what they want. For some reason, whatever I pick out is not nice.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And do they give you advice on what you're wearing?
Not really. I think some of the best things that come out of me getting dressed and leaving is when they tell me I'm looking really nice.
No.
Yeah, that's sweet.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a room where you go and like lock yourself when you need?
The bathroom, yes.
But wait, we wanted to ask you also, where do your PR packages go? Because our houses...
Isn't it like a relevant question
I
for
think it is.
everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we know where ours go, everywhere. But we were like, do you have a designated space?
So I have 3 methods to handling PR packages,
Damn.
and this is like
Crazy.
public advisory. Please let me know if you're sending me a PR package, and I will tell you if I actually need it, because otherwise it's just everything is there. And I mean, I've known these guys, all the the agencies, for so long that I tell them, like, listen guys, I mean, I'm happy to give you a shout out, don't send me the stuff, like I
Yeah,
don't
fair.
need it.
I think it's really overwhelming to receive so many boxes, and then I feel like my carbon footprint has increased without
There's
me even
too
trying.
much of everything, so I just feel like that's a big no. Or like I get it sent to the Matrix office and they have to keep it and store it.
Yeah.
Third thing is, like, if they'll say like, we would love to send you something, and I'll say, you know what, I'm wishing you all the best, but I'm not accepting packages right now.
Have you seen that guy who goes to like famous people's buildings and goes through the trash?
Who
That's
is
my
that?
new fear.
It's So this
Really?
guy, that's his content. So he goes and he literally is like, "Aaj maine Ananya Pandey ka."
Building ke niche, and he'll find like whatever she has thrown. He found AirPods in someone's building ka kachra, and he found like he doxed addresses
Yeah.
also. And I'm
That
like, now we
is
can't
creepy.
throw things. Yeah.
That is very creepy.
I mean, no one's coming to my building, but like it's still weird.
That is
Ek aur
very
sunscreen.
That's very creepy.
Yeah. But
Where have you found these people?
on my
On our
algorithm,
algorithm. Where else?
That-
और क्या होता है life में?
what no one else's screen time is 12 and a half hours.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Now that you have your own business and you've been through a full journey in Bombay, do you still feel like impostery when you walk into a room, you have to delegate tasks, or you have to be Mira Kapoor?
No.
No?
No, because I feel like, I think at like, it's weirdly philosophical, but like at this next phase, or like the new decade or whatever, I like who I am. I like the person that I am and the things that I stand for. I'm very well aware of why other people don't like me also. Like, it's very clear to me.
Yeah.
So that makes it a little easier. And I feel at work or anywhere else, my main thing is to speak and communicate respectfully. So even if, like, I think I've yelled once in the last 7-8 months of doing of the new business. Like, it was that one day. So I like the fact that I have that ability to handle things a certain way or speak to people and resolve issues. I feel like dealing with people is a strong suit that I have. So if you know what your idea is all about, you know exactly, you don't know how you want to execute it, but you have some idea of what your plan is. And most importantly, like, you know what you don't know. The impostery thing happens when you don't know what you don't know, or you're shy to admit what you don't know. If you say I don't know, like asking dumb questions,
Yeah.
like right in the beginning when I was like, what is PAT and PBT? Profit after tax, profit before tax.
Wouldn't know it.
But if I
got
like
stressed.
when I'm seeing the P&L,
Yeah.
the projections,
Yeah.
and I've followed it through, but now we've reached PAT and PBT and PAT, and I'm lost. I was like, but what is this? Explain it to
Yeah.
me. Tell me, what is it? I want to understand. What do you mean by amortization? What do you mean by depreciation?
Yeah, you're stressing me.
Yeah, I know, I'm feeling like my chest is
It's like,
constricting.
what if she asks me for real?
No, because again, both of us are okay. I'll speak for myself. I am very afraid of like business and money
Yeah.
from the numbers and the Excel sheet point of view. I think like our strong suit is definitely like the packaging or the front end stuff. The minute it comes to the back, I think we've just tied a ribbon on it and we're like, this, it's cute, it's zany, it's us, but it's breaking. Like.
But you know what? There's nothing wrong with being good at something. It's just
Yeah.
that if you know what you're not good at, you'll keep one eye on it. Like, numbers used to scare me because I
Yeah.
was like, I don't get it. And initially I went through that little, ignorance is bliss. I don't get it. Like, it's fine. there is someone else to look into
Yeah.
that. But then I was like, listen, if this is my business, then I need to understand a lot of these things. Like mota mota, I call it parchi calculation. Your parchi calculation you need to know, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is the cost of goods? What is the gross margin? How many salaries are you paying? What are your overheads? Where do you break even? Etc. etc. It's just like 5-6 things that you have to know.
Yeah.
So if you're hitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like for you guys, it could be the same thing, right? What is the cost of production, packaging, marketing?
Yeah, but but the thing is, especially with women, like you're passed almost like a keeper. Your keeper is passed, right? So your father is first doing your finances. You don't get to ever speak to your CA. Then that power is handed over to your husband, and then it's handed over to your son traditionally. So the minute you're kind of, or any woman is left to her own devices, I think the lack of control that she has over understanding, okay, how do I, because this is all like survival and sustenance stuff, right? It's very throwing off.
Yeah.
Like even to this, like I just met a wealth manager because I was like, hey, I have some wealth, I should do something with it.
Yeah.
But when he started talking to me, I started sweating and giggling and making jokes because I was so deeply uncomfortable by
But
the
it's fine. At least you know what you're uncomfortable about, right, Naina? Like now
Yeah.
you'll make an effort on the side to chat GPT a couple of things.
Yeah, fair.
And be like, yeah, okay, break it down for me in simple language.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it wasn't the case because my mom always handled the accounts side of things. Like even when my mom and dad ran their own business,
Yeah.
accounts was very much her thing. And her mom used to be very good with money. So I think it kind of came down and I subliminally just absorbed a lot of the things that she was doing. And even though I didn't need to manage money per se initially, but there were a lot of things that stayed with me that she gave me advice on, right? Like, those things that they used to say, अगर कुछ मिलता है ना कहीं रख दो जहाँ पता ही नहीं चलेगा, तुम भूल जाओ, and you'll find it someday. Like that's an old school FD. You literally put it somewhere and you don't know where it is, right? At the same time, like she was explaining to me how she was never a part of a kitty, but she was like, she used to see how a lot of women were able to save money because they would go and buy bangles with that. And now obviously you can see the value of gold, and of course it's compounded so well. But small things like, say for example, in a salaried home or any kind of home, how do you buy groceries, right? You know, for the month, mahine ka itna hai because this is what you're getting.
Right.
And when I had to run my own house, I was like, but mom, like we don't have a salary kind of situation, right? It comes when it comes.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, but you make a list of how much you think you're going to need in the month. It's the only way you'll know whether you're buying more or less. Are you wasting? And it actually started like that for me to always keep a check on small things that were in my control. That, okay, like if the numbers have gone up a little bit, you can appropriate that to, maybe you entertained a little more or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And whether it makes a difference to you or not, you should know what's going on. And then you kind of build from there. So I feel like she has that ability to think, just how to just make it happen.
Yeah.
We'll do this and we'll do this and we'll do this and it'll be like this.
Because running a house is a full-time job.
I'm telling you, I feel like housewives and homemakers, women in general, make such fantastic entrepreneurs. And I've seen a lot of them in front of me as great examples, because you know how to multitask at a micro level. And there are situations or forces that you have to deal with. Like say tomorrow, your cook doesn't show up and you have 7 people coming home for dinner and somebody is sick.
Yeah.
You can't do anything about it. You have to fix the situation. And it's the problem solving attitude that women in such situations have that enables them to be very good entrepreneurs.
They also do all the soft politics part of the relationship, right? Because you have to be a representative
People
of
skills.
your...
Exactly. Like you have to understand that there is a person who's doing this job. It's not a machine. So there is a reason why they are not being, they're not as productive as you think, or maybe that is their level of productivity and you have expectations that are not going to be met.
Yeah.
And changing around the dynamics, I can see, is getting very serious.
No.
We strongly believe that. We've spoken about this a bunch of times where, like, so I live by myself, Naina lives by herself. So we are running the house, but we're also working. And the main reason half my house is still undone, even though I've been living there for 7 months, is I don't have the time to sit with someone and tell them what to do. It's not like I'm doing it myself, but for me it's like it takes the same amount of time, and I recognize that it's a full-time job, and for a lot of women an unpaid full-time job.
Yeah.
So I'm actually listening pretty intently because it's such a strong belief, and it's something that our generation has started to acknowledge. Because before that, I was like, yeah, my mom's a homemaker, but no, but the day like your mom is not doing all the invisible tasks, those things are not done, and they make such a big difference that it kills your vibe that they're not done.
Yeah, so many different cases where, like someone's mom has had to have like a surgery or something, and the house is completely out of order and no one knows what to do. So everyone, including the dad, who might be like so old at this point, is like scattered. Yeah, and figuring it out. It's like, and then you really think, okay, oh my God, this person is just the most integral part of like this living unit.
Yeah.
But I just thought, like, at this age, I think, I always thought like homemaking was like this, you take a magician's wand and things just happen, because a lot of it happens when you're not around. You come back, your room is set. You don't know how it happens. And I thought that by the time that I reached the age that I have, I would have figured it out. But it's scary to feel like I'm the furthest away from figuring it out. And it's such a big part of being a woman, that the fact that you can take care of a home, that even now if I'm like, if I become a mother, I can't take care of myself. How am I supposed to take care of this child? How am I supposed to like make it an environment where we're not sustaining, we're actually thriving?
I think it's not just a woman thing. I think everybody needs to learn how to take care of themselves and run their own home and look after the kids and cook and all of that stuff, right? I don't see it to be as just a woman's job.
I don't mean to say it like that. I mean, like, we have been conditioned in a way where you take it even more personally as a failure to yourself if you can't set up domestic.
Like, if your house is messy, it often is like, I feel like I have failed it, even if there's a man in the house. Like, just, I guess because of like dynamics back home or anything like that, I do take a lot of the pressure on myself, and I know a lot of women do as well. But obviously, like cooking, cleaning, everything are life skills, and everyone should know how to do them.
The best life skill I learned in the recent past was threading.
Threading?
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God. You can do it for yourself?
Yeah, it is, I'm telling you.
I just shaved my mustache.
Like,
in the
speaking on
bathroom.
such serious topics, I can say that is an essential life skill.
Really?
Learning how to thread yourself.
Shit, I have to learn this now. I literally, I'm Sindhi, and I get the Sindhi mustache. We were talking about that. So literally, I was just, as you came and I heard the hi, I was shaving my mustache.
So I was traveling 2 summers ago, and I reached a point in that summer where I was like, now this is getting out of hand, Now the makeup is not working. So I'm like Googling threading places, and strangely, threading is not a big thing in Europe and America. Like, it's a very Asian thing. And there were a lot of these waxing places and whatever, and I obviously didn't want to do that. So I've gone on YouTube and just typed in how to thread yourself. How do you thread your upper lip yourself? So I took the sewing kit and took the dhaga from there. The joy I had after that. I was like, I have learned something of value today. I can just do it for myself. I'm not dependent on anybody for anything.
I love that so much.
My friend and I, we just went through breakups last time. We were flying Ryanair somewhere, and you get those Amazon bags that only fit in Ryanair.
Yeah.
We broke the zip of the bag, and we were like, shit, now we have to fix this ourselves. And we're both freshly in this, like, first time in our, like, since we're independent, we're like single, and we're like, we can't ask a man to do this. We can't just go to the reception and ask him to do this. So we had like YouTube playing, the zipper, and we were using our, like, and when we fixed it, we were like, fuck it up. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing we can't do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the most humbling thing for me was I tried to wax myself in the pandemic. And I got like that vanilla chocolate wax, and to this day that apartment has like
Oh, shit.
this vanilla splotches.
Well, that's being a woman.
It is.
You just ignore it a little bit every
Little bit.
time you go over. What if we took a little bit of a cut just because we were having so much fun? We were like, guys, stop. But just to wrap it up, thank you so much for being here. I'm not letting both of y'all go actually.
Oh.
I want y'all to tell me one silly life skill y'all want to learn this year.
Me, I want to learn how to curl the right side of my hair because I'm great at doing the left side, but the right side, she's messy.
Okay.
I just followed your cue.
I want to learn how to remove my own gel nails. I feel like if they chip, I want to know how to just get them
Yeah,
off.
without removing half your nail with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Useless, but
Yeah, no.
snaps for me.
Snaps for you.
Crazy. What is this?
It's empowering, that's all I know.
I want to learn how to like cut a mango non-messily for this summer. Because
This summer season.
this summer coming to theaters near you. And yeah, on this note, thanks guys.
Thank you so much, Mira.
Thank you.
Oh, wait. One, please buy a kind on Tira.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
guys,
Oh.
now Kind is now available on Amazon as well as the Tira
Ooh.
app and the website and the store. So listen to your skin.
Thank you.
Bye guys.
Bye.